People, Deluded, I'm back again. Now, you know what? A lot of people have been saying this for a while, and a lot of people have been speaking about it for a while. I've seen him play there under 23s level, not a lot, but I mean, at that level and below, you're going to play a bunch of positions. Saka. Now, I'm proud of Saka. I think Saka is a lovely footballer. I think he's got, you know, all the potential in the world. How good he wants to be is down to him. And what I like about him as well, what you rarely see with a lot of young players, he might not be the most flashy. He's one of the most effective. He's got a cool head in the final third. He's either scoring or assisting. He you know, he takes it like he's playing in a cage in a good way. Like he doesn't, if he ever has been nervous, which, you know, he's a young man, he probably has been, you know, he handles it well and he channels it well. That's what I like about him. He understands goals and assists make the difference. He understands keeping a cool head in the final third, whether he's going to make it as a fullback long term, whether he's going to be a winger. What I like about him as well, obviously I'm not an Arsenal coach. I've never spoken to my man as well. In fact, once I said, well done for making your debut or something like that, and he replied, thank you, that's about it. Shout out to him for that as well. He's coachable. He's very coachable. You can see, you know, I see a lot of young players I think got ability, but they're not coachable. They don't understand final third productivity, and you can see Saka retains information. Like, you can tell him something, he might not do it well, but he retains the information and he wants to learn and he wants to improve. He must genuinely be a manager's dream. Personally, I think he's got a future on the left or right wing. I think people forget he can actually play on the right wing as a winger full stop, but play on the right wing and cut in. I think he's got a fantastic future, you know, alternating between either the left or the right. Equally, I think he could be a good fullback. Now, clearly he doesn't like, by his own words, he doesn't like defending. And to be fair, as great as I think he's been at fullback, I'm not saying he hasn't been tested defensively, because he's played some tough games and came out, you know, stronger and hasn't been destroyed. But mainly his fullback performances has come going the other way, because you do see the natural instincts to go forward, the position in gaps and stuff like that. I don't think he's played against someone really where, you know, it's been someone, Arsenal haven't got the lion's share of possession trying to just rip him and demolish him. I don't think he's had a tough game like that. That's not his fault. Like I said, I think his future is out wide. I think, you know, future could be, pardon me, equally at fullback. It's, you know, interesting to see what's going to happen. Of course, I hope he signs a new deal. But in terms of a short-term fix, people, allegedly, like I said at the beginning, he's played as a 10 couple of times in the youth, as he's played everywhere, as has every kid, so there's not too much to read into that. Allegedly against Brentford at some point, or Charlton, or one of them, he got to playing behind. And it really got me thinking, really, should we just run that Saka one at least until we're going to bring in a creative midfielder or able to? And I say that with no disrespect to anybody, because obviously, you know, final pass, all of these sort of things, Ozil's excellent technically. We know Ozil's a technically sound footballer. In terms of consistency, application, making the difference, you know, Ozil's not that guy anymore. He can still have a say because Arteta's using him, but he's not that guy. I like Joe Willock. I think Joe Willock can have a future here. And listen, I want to be wrong, but I just don't think the 10 is him. Obviously, with experience and things can change, but I don't think doing that sort of creative thing is for him. I think he play him in a pivot. He's box to box. You know, he's shown he can finish. He's shown he can get up there. You know, he's a bit tenacious and stuff like that. He's got that raw energy. I think there's a use for him in the squad of some sort, but I don't think the 10 is his. Now, Unai Emery and Wenger played him in the withdrawn role as well, which is actually where I got that from. I thought, yo, because playing in the 10 in the academy, he's playing 10 and wings and further forward, and listen, he was a baller there, and it made me think, alright, yeah, he's actually got more all-round game and better defensively. And I've said this, and I know you lot from 2018 can remember that. It's like, he's better defensively and better all-rounded than I thought. He's more matured than I thought. I just don't. And like I said, he played 10 in the youth academy, scored goals, does his thing there, and you know, he ripped Blackpool a couple of years ago for the first team. But I just don't think he's got that final ball in him. I don't think, you know, the positions, I guess you can coach it, but I don't think any of that is him in it. And it made me think, what about running Saka there, people? At least till the season ends, or we're able to look at the situation. At first, I squashed the idea. I was like, nah, man, left wing, left back, one of these sort of things is Saka. You know, not everyone needs to do that. But then it made me think, why not? Why can't Saka go there, people? Why not? Because he's one thing, he's good with his back to goal despite his height. He's good at protecting the ball and shielding the ball. Out of all the young players, he's got the calmest head in the final third, which you need, obviously, when he's on the ball, to pick out a decent pass and set someone up. And I'm not too sure on his statistics in terms of assists and stuff, but I think he's one of the best in the Arsenal squad this season in a healthy return. So he can keep a cool head and assist teammates. obviously as a full as a 10 now, you have to drift out wide and create and stuff. He can do that because he's done that before. He's good with driving with the ball as well. And like I said, the main thing is, out of all these young players, he's got the coolest head and the best sort of product in. If he's not going to score his assist, and you rarely see him make the wrong decision. Of course he makes the wrong decision a couple of times. He's a young man, but in comparison to Joe Willock, at this moment in time, I genuinely feel Saka is better in what I have to say is Joe's actual role than Joe himself, really and truly. And that's not me looking at Joe, this is, or criticising Joe. This is me trying to find the best sort of solution, because obviously that now brings, again, Arteta knows his thing. Arteta might say, you know what, Saka, I need you out there to do your relationships, whether you're at left back or left wing, whether you're playing behind Martinelli or in front of someone. I need you out there. Cool. But I can't see why Saka couldn't be given a run there based on our current options, at least. Anyways, you know, it might be. The more I think about it, the more I actually I'm on that. I'm not saying it has to happen against City, but I think about it, it's like, you put Saka there, you've got one less problem with the wingers. Surely Martinelli can now come in, or even Reece Nelson, who I don't want to say tip, but I'd imagine Arteta's taken a big shine to Reece Nelson, and I'm keen to see what Nelson's on in the second half of this season and next season, because I think with that little bit of confidence, arm around him, which Nelson looks like one of them players. I'm not saying he's going to get PFA Player of the Year, I hope, but I do think you'll see a small uptake in his performance. And just to use the tactics boards for no reason, I've quickly just named that, put out some opposition just to make it look better, and doing which is a 4-2-3-1 for us, with obviously Saka here. And what I like about Saka is better in the lines, people. Let's say they've blocked it all off. Let's move these out the way, make it irrelevant. Let's just add some more opposition players, yeah? Obviously, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I feel Joe struggles with. When opposition set up like this, he doesn't know how to go and hunt the ball. I think Saka does. Saka will find space, get in behind, get his head up and spray it out there, or move away. Equally, if we remove all of these people now, as a 10, you've got to be able to contribute out wide. Like, people get onto Ozil, he's done some good combination play. You've got to be able to drift out there. Is Saka not naturally geared towards this side? So he knows, yo, come, let's play some 1-2s. Okay, boom, you made the run, you're onside, let me slip you in. Obviously, he's good with his back to go as well. So if he gets it, he's able to shield it, either pass it back or turn and play it. And the more I think about it, the more I think, why not to the end of the season? Because again, I'm not using Joe as a stick tip. I'm not trying to criticise Joe or anything, but that's his role, and that seems to be the one for the future if we're not going to bring one. Or it seems to be, if it's not Ozil, it's going to be Joe Willock. I don't see why we can't run Saka there. Now, again, you know, Saka's doing his thing at left back, left wing. It's not a problem, innit? It's just the more I think about it, the more I'm more geared to it. And it's really you lot that really got me thinking in relation to that. And like I said, I quashed it at first. Then I started to think about it. It's like, why not? He's good with his back to go. He knows how to receive a pass. He plays with his head up. He's got a cool head. You know, don't let his stature fool you. He's extremely strong. You know, he's got a lovely final ball and stuff like that. Obviously, you need to see him play that a bit more, because you do get a bit of a break playing out wide and stuff like that. But I see no reason as to why he couldn't do that and do that well, people. And it would just give us another option, at least until the end of the season and stuff like that. On that note, though, I've got nothing more to add, really. That's all I wanted to talk about. So, yeah, I'm going to get out of here. It's always a pleasure. People, DG, I'm out.